What do you do after you bid the job? In the last video, I showed you the exact steps that you need to take to win a project, step by step. I showed you how to find the clients. I showed you how to do a bid sprint. I showed you how to negotiate the contract. And in this video, I want to give you a checklist of everything that you need to do after you bid the job. Half the battle is even submitting the proposal. The second half of the war is literally what's going to determine if you get the job or not. This is the checklist that I use with my consulting clients. I want to share this process with you because every time we bid a job, we have to go through this exact process. Let's go. Number one, once you bid the job, find out who the other bidders are. Now, there are two reasons for this. If you're a GC, you want to find out who your competitors are. You want to call up the architect, you want to call up the owner, and you want to say, hey, who else is bidding this job? Oh, it's ABC Construction. Oh, it's XYZ Construction. The reason why you want to do this is because the people that are competing against you, that's going to give you an indication of where your price needs to be. It's also going to be an indication of the level of contractor that's doing this job, which is going to tell you how much staff they're going to put, how much overhead they're going to put, and it's going to give you a lot of inside information. If you're dealing with like a small, tiny little, mom and pop, one-man contractor, then that guy's not going to have a lot of overhead. Therefore, your price needs to be very low. If you're dealing with a commercial contractor that's doing bigger projects, you're going to be dealing with more overhead, more staff, more things, higher cost. So that's going to give you the range of where you need to be at. Now, if you're a subcontractor, you need to know who all the GCs are because you need to give your bid to every general contractor that wins the job. If there are 5 general contractors bidding a job, right? One of those general contractors are going to win. Is it going to be your general contractor? I don't know. Your GC has a 1 out of 5 chance of winning that job, right? That's a 20% chance. So let's do some basic math. So now if your GC has only a 20% chance of winning, that's filter number 1, right? Times, now if your GC does win, you still have to compete against 3 other guys. You have a 1/3 chance of winning. That's 33%. 20% times 33% equals 6%. That means if you just do the odds and you don't do any sort of follow-up and any sort of sales strategies here, you have a 6% chance of winning. This is like terrible odds. Like almost don't even have a business if this is going to be your odds. Now, what if we send your bids to all the GCs? Now you have a 100% chance of one of your GCs winning the job, right? So 100% times 33%, right? Because if your GC wins, there's a 1/3 chance of you winning. So 100% times 33% equals, voila, you have a 33% chance of winning the job. That's literally 5.5x, right? That's almost 6 times the chance of winning the project. So is it worth finding out who else is bidding the job? Absolutely. All right, so how do you do it? All right, so we're gonna go to a set of plans and we're gonna look for the project directory or the project team, right? Sometimes it's on the cover page, sometimes it's in the title block, sometimes it's like a few sheets in. We're gonna look for somewhere where you're gonna see the list of everybody on the job, the architect, the owner's rep, the construction manager, the engineers, the interior designers. You wanna get access to everybody's information. Usually they're gonna have a phone number there or the company name. You go to Google, you look up the company, you call the front desk and you say, hey, I'm currently working on XYZ project. I know you guys are the interior designer, or I know you're the architect. I'm a subcontractor. I'm curious to know who are the other general contractors bidding the job. So first you're going to start with the architect, then you're going to go to the owner, and then you're going to call everybody else, the engineers. Trust me, somebody knows who the other bidders are. All right, number 2, as soon as you send the proposal, call to confirm they received it. Listen, this is critical. You have to call to make sure they received your proposal. If not, it can get buried in the emails or it can even go to spam. Recently, a developer hired us to do the request for proposals. So basically they asked us to get all the bids from all the subcontractors and prepare a bid package for them. And I actually sent out my invitation on a Friday and here is Monday where I got 83 emails unread. In here are proposals, there's questions, there's clarifications, there's a bunch of emails. Now imagine, on this specific email, I'm only working on these 2 projects. I made that email for those 2 projects. But imagine if a typical estimator that's dealing with 5 or 6 projects at the same time, plus they're dealing with internal emails in their company, plus a bunch of other emails, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails per day that these guys are going through. How easy is it for them to lose an email? Super easy. So the way you combat this is, as soon as you click send, boom, you pick up the phone and you say, hey, Mr. Estimator, I just wanted to make sure that you received my proposal. Another reason you want to call to confirm they received your proposal is it's a great touch point. In marketing, you got to do a lot of follow-up. In sales and marketing, you got to be doing touch points. By the way, you might be thinking, I want to send more proposals. I just don't have enough jobs coming in. I don't have enough leads. I don't have the time to estimate all these jobs. Listen, to send more proposals, you need more leads and you need to be able to estimate these jobs. I can help you build your own unlimited lead system where you're going to get tons of leads. You're going to bid tons of jobs and just literally win more jobs. I'm going to put a link right up here to my 8-figure contractor program where I literally dive deep and I teach you one-on-one how to grow your business the right way. Now is the good stuff. Now's the follow-up. The follow-up is what's going to win you the job. Most contractors are just so busy that they don't have time to do the follow-ups. They don't have time to call. They don't have time to visit the client. They don't have time to go continue to do this because they're busy on the jobs, which leaves a huge opportunity, because if nobody's doing that and you're one of the small percent of the people on that list that are doing that, you're probably going to have a really good shot of winning the job. I have a client of mine actually that I was talking to him the other day. His company does government projects. And in one of his most recent projects, it was a multi-million-dollar project that they won. In their CRM, they track all of the touch points, all the phone calls and emails and all that stuff. And they did, to win this multi-million-dollar project, over 1,200 touch points over the course of a very long time. So talk about dedication. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to have to call 1,200 times, because most jobs aren't going to require that many touch points, but you do need to stay active with the jobs. There's 3 reasons. Number 1, you want to keep your finger on the pulse, right? So when I say finger on the pulse, what that means is you want to always know what's going on the job. You want to know the status. You want to know where the permit status is, their financing status. Then you want to just, boom, keep the follow-ups going until you get more information, right? Number 2, you want to have the opportunity to ask for feedback. All right. This is super important for this bid and for future bids. They're going to give you feedback on your pricing for this job. That's going to give you the opportunity to readjust your bid. If they tell you, hey, you're 40% too high, oh, you're double, or they might tell you, oh, you're 20% higher than everybody else, you might have the opportunity right there to make adjustments on your bid. And number 3, it builds relationships and rapport with your client. That's how you're going to win jobs. It's not just going to only be your number. Granted, price is a big factor, but if your buddy estimator is helping you out, there's going to be a good chance that you're going to be able to win the job if you have a friendship, if you have a relationship, a business relationship with the person on the other side of the phone. Here is the game plan. You're going to set up a follow-up schedule for every 3 weeks. Okay. You're going to alternate visits, phone calls, and emails. Okay. Like, I literally want you to schedule it in your calendar, like visit this guy or call this guy, right? If you're bidding multiple projects with a client, when you're following up on one job, you can just say, hey, by the way, what's going on with this other job, right? So it's a little bit more smooth. Now, here's a pro tip. You could batch your follow-ups. So whatever you bid this month, right? Since we're in the long game, we don't have to worry so much about like, oh, I got to make sure it's every 3 weeks exactly. No, whatever you bid this month, right? You're going to pick a day 3 weeks from now and you're going to just batch everything. Boom. All right. Today I'm calling everybody. Boom. Right? Or you can do it like every week, you call a fourth of your list. Boom, 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 right? So it's not so much. And then now you go about your day, you go bid some more jobs, get some more jobs to estimate some more jobs so you can follow up more, right? And boom, and then you do it again. So that's the process. Now think about it. If you're sitting every 3 weeks for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, just following up, literally just making some phone calls and maybe passing by and visiting a client, that's 2 or 3 hours a month. Do you think you have 2 to 3 hours a month to grow your business? Of course. That's what you have to do. This is like it's not that hard. Come on. Now, here is the rule of thumbs of how long things take to get awarded. Most projects behind the scenes, they're doing all the attorneys and contracts and permitting and all that stuff that we talked about. Most smaller jobs, small to medium jobs, will take 3 to 6 months. Renovation jobs like retail, anything that's existing spaces that are getting renovated, typically take up to 6 months to get awarded. I mean, I have seen them longer, but 3 to 6 months is typical. Bigger jobs, even interior renovations, could take longer than that. So there's a correlation between how big the job is. Typically bigger jobs are more complicated. There's more revisions, RFIs and things that come up. So it takes longer, right? New construction and multifamily or multi-story buildings are going to take 1 to 2 years. It takes a lot longer. And the other part that you got to consider is if you are a specific trade, then when does your trade start? If you're a painter, forget it. You're at the end, right? Or like 3/4 of the way through, right? If you're a cabinet guy or a flooring guy, you're at the end of the job. If you're a concrete guy, you're in the beginning of the job. If you're a demo guy, at the beginning of the job. If you're a framer, you're like the second or the third trade to come in if it's a renovation. So you got to think about that when you're planning your projects, okay? Now, in our follow-ups, we get the indicator that they're getting close, right? Which is number 4, be around when they win a project. So we're consistently doing the follow-ups, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then now we start getting, hey, can you please review the scope of work and confirm your number? Hey, it looks like we're getting a contract soon. Hey, it's in the attorney's hands, so we're about to get it. Hey, we just got a verbal that we're about to get the contract. Oh, look, I don't know. We've been going to some coordination meetings, so I'm pretty sure we got the job. We just don't have the contract yet, right? You're going to hear things like that. When you start hearing that, they don't yet have the contract. However, they're getting super close. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're around when that happens. So you want to switch your phone calls to once every 5 days or so, at least once a week minimum, maybe even once every 3 days. Okay. Don't be annoying with it. Don't be like desperate, right? Just make sure that you're around. Now, here's the thing. This is the moment that we do all of this work for. We get the lead, we do the prospecting, we do the visiting, we do the estimating, we do all this work. The culmination of this work is to get to this negotiation point. This is the World Series right here. This is the Super Bowl, right? We need to make sure that when they tell us we got the job, stop everything we're doing. I'm busy. I got to close this guy, right? Boom. And that's when you got to jump into the negotiations. That's when they call you and they're like, hey, look, can you double check this number? Because boom, boom, boom. And you got to stop what you're doing. I don't care what you have estimating. I don't care what projects you have active. This is a job that it's so rare to get to the point of, like, you know, you're about to get the job that you need to pay attention there, right? And that's when you got to get your estimators, boom, to respond quickly. Hey, can you double check this number? Can you double check that the gauge is correct? Can you tell me if the rebar is included on footing number 5? Boom, boom, boom. You got to be on it quick, because they're asking you these questions, because before they give you a subcontract, they got to make sure that they dot all their I's and they cross all their T's. That's where you're going to have the chance to talk about the numbers. That's where you're going to sell yourself. Remember, a lot of it is going to be the price, but also a lot of it is going to be in all this follow-up that you did. It's the relationship building that you did that's going to take you over the edge. A lot of times you will have done this relationship building with the estimator, and you're now talking to a project manager that doesn't know you. Guess what you have to do? Do it all over again. Pass by and visit. Get to know them. Call and follow up. All that stuff, right? Because they're not always going to award right away. It might take, hey, look, we're going to do a buyout soon. We'll let you know. Boom. Call and follow up. And you're still in that follow-up stage. But now you got to know that you're behind enemy lines now, right? Because once you get behind enemy lines, you're dealing with the decision makers. You're dealing with the senior project management team. You're dealing with the project managers. You're dealing with the vice presidents, right? These are the guys that sign the checks and sign the contracts. Now, obviously, in a short video like this, I've given you a lot of value. We can't talk about every detail of the negotiations, but I do want to give you a special invitation to learn how to negotiate. Inside of my 8-figure contractor program, we talk about leads, prospecting, estimating, follow-up, negotiations, construction management, recruiting and training for your crews, everything, right? Everything, how to grow your business. And this is what's working in 2024 and going into 2025. This is what's working. Now, I want to encourage you. I'm going to put a link up here so that you can check it out. I'm also going to put it in the description below. If you're interested, you want to join a private community of contractors. We're all helping each other. Some of our members are doing deals together. You get a weekly coaching call with me. I can literally consult you and help you grow your business. Anyway, if you want to grow your business and you want to join, get a 14-day free trial right now. At the time of this recording, it's a 14-day free trial. I'm not sure how long it's going to say free, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep a trial. So anyways, click on the link in the description below. And in this next video, I'm actually going to help you negotiate. I'm going to teach you the steps on everything you need for negotiation.